Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Joe, Smokin Joe's Pit BBQ. On today's video, we are making pastrami. Stay tuned. With two brisket flats, and these were in a package that I purchased from the store. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do on today's video, I've never actually used these little packets that come with the corned beef. Now, let me explain the difference between a corned beef and a pastrami, okay? Corned beef is normally boiled, okay? And pastrami is smoked. That's the only difference, but they're still using the same cut of meat. In this case, it is a brisket flat. So what I did to these little packets that come with the brisket is I just took my little meat tenderizer hammer and smashed the packet to get the rub all smashed up and get the oils out of there and get it to smell good. So once I rub one of the pastramis, they'll pick up a lot of that good flavor. Now, I've got two pieces. Again, these were in two different packages. So this is one right here. It's the majority is a flat. It's got a little bit of the point meat on there. But I did notice that it has a little bit more fat than I'd like in one spot right here. So I'm just gonna trim a little bit of this off because I don't think it'll be enough to render. I don't think it'll render, not all of it anyway. Now I'm gonna be cooking this in my offset smoker, my Frontiersman. Okay, I kind of like that right there. So it was just a little bit, just had a little hunk of fat here. This one has a bigger piece of the point on it. If you can see, the brisket flat is right here. And then all of this is the brisket point itself, which I like. So I'm just gonna trim a little bit off of this one as well. Get some of this fat off of there. There we go. The rest of it, let me take a little bit off of here. Now I did rinse these off in the sink just to get a lot of the salt off. Okay, because they do brine them in a package. They come in a brine. There's a lot of salt in there, so I rinsed them and let them sit and then rinse them again. So just rinse it a couple of times to get some of that salt off of there. All right, I'm liking that. Maybe just one little piece here. There we go. All right, so that looks good. Not a whole lot of trimming. So on one of these pastramis, I'm gonna add the peppercorns, the spices that come in the little packages. Now I did use two of the packages because I didn't think that one would be enough to rub this one down. So I'm just gonna sprinkle it on there. Rub it in, okay? Just like that. Get it all over that brisket. And this is the only rub that I'm going to use on this one. I've never used these little packages before, so we're going to put them to the test, see if they're good. Okay. So that's all that I'm going to use on this one brisket flat. Just like that. Looking good. Now I'm going to be smoking these with a fat cap down. Again, on my big offset, my Frontiersman. So just like that. I'm going to take this glove off. And on this other pastrami, I'm using this Bovine Bold from Plowboys BBQ. This has a good beefy flavor to it. I've never used it before. I tasted it out of the bottle. It actually tastes pretty darn good. Okay, so this one I'm going to go heavy with the rub. Just like I normally would, just like a brisket, if you will. And we are going to do a comparison. Is the peppercorn the way to do this, or a good rub? We shall see. All right, I'm going to finish rubbing this brisket flat down, and we'll see you guys outside. Stay tuned. All right, so my smoker is up to temperature. 250 degrees is what I'm at right now. I'm going to run the smoker at 250, between 250 and 265. just to get a good smoke on this pastrami here. So this is the first one, the one with the peppercorn rub that comes in those little packages. So I'm just going to put it right here on the top shelf. And my second pastrami. Look at how nice that's sweated in. That rub is looking good. If you notice, I'm putting the thicker part of the pastrami towards that firebox. Just like that. Because I want that to protect the flat, if you will. So I'll bring you guys back in probably 2 hours. We'll see what the pastrami looks like. Stay tuned. All right, so we're 2 hours into the cook. Let's take a look at the pastrami here. Oh yeah, coming along nicely. Still don't need a wrap or spritz or anything. And I didn't think I was gonna have to spritz because of the salt content in the pastrami. It really held on to a lot of water, so the moisture's still coming to the surface. The rub isn't quite set yet. Again, 2 hours, been running at 265. We'll check back in a couple of all right, so we're 2 hours into the cook now. Let's take a look at the pastrami. Oh yeah, looking really good. Still don't need a spritz or anything yet. Let me bring you guys in a little bit closer. You can see the one with the rub. Still, the bark is almost set. The top is still a little bit soft. This one with just the peppercorns and the spices has an odd color. I'm not used to seeing it that color, but again, that's because we didn't use any rub. So 2 hours in, the fat is rendering nicely on the bottom. Remember, we did this fat cap down on both of them. And if you haven't noticed, the pastrami is about 20% smaller than it was originally. And that's gonna happen because of the salt content that's in the pastrami itself. So we're gonna come back in a couple of hours and see if we got a little bit darker color. And then at that point, we'll go ahead and wrap and get it internal temperature. Stay tuned. All right, so we're at the 4 hour mark now. Let's take a look at the pastrami. Oh yeah. So that's the nice color that I was looking for. Still really juicy. I haven't spritzed it whatsoever. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it, but let's get an internal temperature. Now I'm only gonna take this up to probably 200 degrees or until it's nice and tender. So I'm at 176 degrees, which is higher than I thought. Ooh, that one's tender already. 179. So I'm only going to take it to 200 degrees. It's not going to take very long. You can see I just probed that last one over there, and there's juice coming right out of that hole where I tested the temperature. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap them in foil, and we'll see you guys inside when they're ready. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so the pastrami is ready, and actually I'm going to get the one with the peppercorns and stuff. Oh man, look at all that juice that's coming out of this. And this is expected because of the amount of salt that's in the brine, okay? Man, it smells good, it looks good. I'm gonna try to save those juices in the foil. Look at that thing. Now it did shrink quite a bit, okay? That's one thing that I noticed. It got really small. About 20, maybe even 30% smaller than the original size. So you can see you still want to cut against the grain, so the grains are going this way. You got to remember, this is the one that had that point piece on it. Okay, so I'm just gonna at a bias cut some nice thin slices. I am using a cut knife. And this thing is sharp with a capital S. Okay, so getting some nice thin slices. Look at how juicy this thing is. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. So there, I'm getting into the point. Man, look at that thing. So just gonna grab this piece here. Look at that. The internal temperature was 202 degrees, okay, when I pulled it. So just in case you guys were wondering what the internal temperature was. Now let's get the other pastrami, the one that had the Bovine Bold from Plowboys. Oh my goodness. The amount of au jus that's in the foil is ridiculous. I'm gonna save that because I will be dunking these in there in a little bit. So here's this one here. And this one, the grains. Okay, so I'm good right here. So the grains are running this way right here. Man, this one smells really good. This one, it smells like it took on a lot more smoke than the other one. Look at how juicy this thing is. They're both extremely juicy. I've made pastrami before. And, you know, pastrami doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be juicy. It's okay if it's dry. But my other one was not this juicy. And I think because I took the other one to a much higher temperature than I did this one. Plus the wrapping in foil. Just really good. Man, look at this. Look at how juicy that is. It's crazy. Pull test. Oh man, like butter. All right, let's give it a taste. Stay tuned. All right, let's give the pastrami a try. I gotta tell you that right out of the gate, this one smells a lot smokier for some crazy reason. This is the one with the Bovine Bold from Plowboys. And this one smells good too. But for some reason, this one smells a lot smokier. I'm not sure why. But I'm gonna give this one a try. This is the one with the peppercorns that come in that little spice packet when you buy these corned beefs. So here we go. That's good. I got some of these, I think they're coriander seeds. Bit into one of those. Really tasty. Not crazy salty. I think rinsing it twice really helped. I think that if I left it sitting in water overnight, it might remove more of that salt flavor. But pastrami is supposed to be a little bit salty, but it's not crazy salty. So let's try this one here. Again, this is the one with the Bovine Bold from Plowboys BBQ. And I gotta tell you, this one, it has, for some reason, it just smells smokier, and the bark is a little bit more pronounced on this one. So here we go. That's good. You know that, not sure if it's the rub. It's gotta be the rub, because they both sat in the same spot in the smoker. But for some reason, this one has more of a brisket taste, but you know it's pastrami. My choice is this one. Not that this one is bad, but the flavor on this one, just really good smoky flavor. Kind of a hybrid between a pastrami and a brisket. Tastes really, really good. Man, we're gonna make some sandwiches with this pastrami. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button if this is your first time here. Until next time, Joe with Smokin Joe's Pit BBQ. See ya.